Welcome to Combat Mission Black Sea. The scenario we will take a look at today is Modern Problems, designed by ALBY. The opponent will be Mr. ALBY as well, who takes command of the attacking forces of the Russian Federation. I will be leading the US Army. Our forces are designated as Task Force 4-10. It consists mainly out of Alpha Company, which is an understrength striker company and is just arriving in numbers on the map. Task Force 4-10 is deployed comparable to an early entry combat force. The background of the scenario, as described in the mission briefing, creates an overall critical operational situation. This organization dominates as a wide breakthrough occurred at the front to the Russian Federation. Communication lines were destroyed or rendered useless by means of electronic warfare. Logistics are a challenge. Most basic support provided by higher echelon will face difficulties to reach Alpha Company. Limited intel is available and shows a strong Russian mechanized force exploiting the initial success, now advancing rapidly towards the sector where our task force is located. As our briefing does not specify an order how we are supposed to act, it is on us to determine an appropriate scheme of actions. The task force capabilities limit by doctrine our possibilities. The Striker Infantry Carrier Vehicle (ICV) is here an operational enabler, providing necessary mobility and flexibility, not intended to stand off mechanized forces with armored elements. On the tactical level, we have to focus on light infantry fundamentals. The formation is centered around the infantry squad. By doctrine, the Striker Company primary mission is to close with and destroy the enemy during full spectrum operations through close violent combat. Deploys rapidly, executes early entry operations, and conducts effective combat operations immediately upon arrival to assist in the prevention, containment, stabilization, or resolution of a conflict. Note the word assist. The setup is unsuited for the formation under our command, but we won't get anything else. Enemy contact is imminent, a hasty defense, the best out of few options. As said before, intel is very thin to build an effective battle plan. Reconnaissance, interfered by an immobilized Tunguska in the north, still operating and able to knock out our surveillance UAVs. Dispersed minefields add to a complex terrain, dominated by forest lines, hills, and urban settlements along the railways, cutting the terrain from east to west in a straight line. In developing the engagement areas, we are taking into account key terrain and visualize all possible enemy avenues of approach. We seek to defend on terrain that maximizes effective fire, cover, concealment, movement, and surprise. The reality on the ground sadly is not exact in line with the field manual. Time is a resource, time is the most important dimension, so the battle plan is developed and the orders are given. Explained briefly. The units of Alpha Company and the headquarters of Task Force 4-10 will rapidly move to Assembly Area 1 and Assembly Area 2, organize and regroup, parting to the designated defense positions. All were selected for the same reason. Restricted terrain that obscures and offers natural protection. All are located on one axis with the possibility of cross-support in case of emergency. All have engagement areas where the enemy will be hit hard but likely not defeated. All have the risk of forced into a decisive standoff action. All present the commanders with space to disengage from the enemy. To remind, the offense is a decisive form of combat. We seek opportunities to take offensive action during the engagement when opportunities exist or develop. Immediately at the beginning, a striker hit a friendly mine. The mounted squad died. A mistake on my part. It is no excuse that the mines were laid carelessly. First contacts are reported as the next reinforcements arrive on the battlefield, rapidly moving to Assembly Area 2.
Route complete. Out.
Along multiple axes, enemy formation, conduct reconnaissance in force, probing our defenses, shaping the battlefield.
Roger. Checking fire. End of mission.
Routes complete. Out.
Over. Shot out.
Advancing into engagement area 3, the attacking force are engaged by the 1st platoon, moving to contact to fix the formation in place while direct fire support is synchronized.
Shot out. Shot fire. Over. Over. Shot out. Shot fire. Out. Shot over.
With the incoming fire, the platoon disengages.
Roger. Fire back. Flash. Flash. Fire back. Over.
Artillery strikes along the forest lines, forcing the reinforced enemy out of the concealment.
Over.
south, the attackers assembled a critical number of forces. An attack in full force is imminent.
Roger, Roger.
Enemy units advance in numbers. Estimated groupings are not reported. The enemy brings in more forces into the battle space. One problem is the rapid consumption of anti-tank weapons and the already meager supply of these. The number of attacking BTRs draws and consumes the javelins in particular. As a war of attrition develops in parts of the battlefield, successful defense becomes more difficult.
Roger, fire mission request. Out. Fire mission. Out.
Target acquired. Coming down.
Dash 1. Fire for back. Out. Fire for back. Out. Right. Fire mission request. Out. Request marker. Out. Go fire. Out.
Element stand by for fast air engagement.
Just fire. Out. Just fire. Out.
breakthrough at the flanks, the forces are unable to stop. The interception of breaching forces at new defensive points in the rear is considered. As the main body of the attacking formation in the north was defeated, some enemy units reportedly advanced to the east. On my part, opportunities to go on the offense are limited, as there are armored units in Overwatch at elevated key positions. Resume, I count several mistakes. The top three are: number 1, I failed to notice the ATGM teams that were hunting for my striker vehicles. Here I lost several platforms. Number 2, I lost my last equipped Javelin team mounting a striker to the reported tank in Overwatch at an elevated position. The same tank hit several strikers while engaging our flank. Number 3, I wrongfully evaluated my last ATGM vehicle as inoperable due to fire damage. 10 minutes later, realizing that it is still operating, but dislocated in the woods, rendered useless. Dissatisfaction with the air support, not that an asset was shot down at the first sortie, which it was, that just happened. The close air support failed to interfere with the advance of the Russian forces. These are occupying the farm objective, and their advance is unhindered in their push to the east, gathered and reorganized for a decisive engagement to Blue TOC. A possible avenue is the forest line where the enemy attack was successfully neutralized. This attempt to counterattack and occupy Red TOC failed. Unfortunately, an enemy tank, immobilized by my artillery strikes, blocked the avenue of advance through the woods, still operating, dealing significant damage to the infantry, which already was stripped of any anti-tank capabilities and forced to fall back. The rest of the defenders is assembled and get ordered to fall back. Trying to engage the attacker at a new defensive point, the strikers enable the infantry. At the end, I noticed a little gimmick because the commander of the task force has my name. Sadly, he died in the city center in the firefight. new combat situations now in the city center, and here it ended with a ceasefire. That is fine by me. I definitely deserved a minor loss. Thanks for watching, thanks for the game and the work he invested in the scenario, which could be adjusted here and there. I would give the player, for example, in the briefing, a formulated task. I also read a briefing of the red side, which is dramatic to read for sure, definitely entertaining, and I can recommend giving it a try. This is Dienstschluss, goodbye and have a nice day. Well done, ALBY.